they're just not super powerful,
Right.
and they don't have a radar, and that's any good. But in the air-to-air dogfighting, they're still superior airplanes, engaged just right.
Yeah.
Okay. The MiG-17 can turn. It's it was powerful in its day. It's not powerful today.
Right.
It runs out of poop real quick.
Yeah.
It G's up and there's not much left. But if you were coming up on an F4, an F105, an F100, and you were bearing down on them, I've seen 560 knots indicated in this little bitty thing, and you're smoking along, and it doesn't care.
Right.
This airplane, it's not buffeting. It's solid as can be, and I can imagine you're going 550 knots. You have this F4 or these two F4s in your sight, and they don't see you, and you're bearing down on them, and they start to see you and they start to turn, and you pull inside them. If you have the element of surprise, no
Right.
fans or buts about it, you're going to shoot them down.
Yeah.
Because it's even when you're pulling G's, it's stable as can be. It's not wallowing around. The MiG-15, the nose kind of moved and it wasn't near as good, but this MiG-17, wow, it's stable. So it was probably a wonderful gun platform. They didn't have any kind of HUD that moved along. It was all more like iron sights, but yeah, you got close up, you got up and close and personal. And imagine they were coming down.
I've not done a whole lot of reading on it, but I'm guessing the majority of the air kills scored by the North Vietnamese were in MiG-17s as opposed to MiG-21s. Is that
early on?
early
Yes.
on? Okay.
Early on, the MiG-17s, and then finally the Americans, kind of okay.
Right.
If this is our adversary, then we're going to fight them differently.
Right.
And then they figured it out. And
Yeah.
then it turned it around, and then the MiG-21 came, and the MiG-21 doesn't turn either.
Right. Yeah.
So they were both non-turning airplanes,
Right.
and they were both more evenly matched. And I think that that it was superior training,
Right.
tactics of the Americans. But early on, I think that's why these MiG-17s were pesky, because
Yeah.
they were shooting down the airplanes because they didn't train against airplanes
Yeah.
like this, and the airplanes weren't designed, and these type of things. So.
Yeah, you got, like I said, a lumbering F-105 full of iron bombs. That's
Right.
not going to. Yeah, it must
Yeah.
have been terrible. So you alluded to flying the MiG-15. Did you get your MiG-17 checkout in like a UTI MiG-15?
Yeah, we did it with Larry Selganic.
Okay.
Yeah, with Uncle Larry.
All right.
We call him Uncle Larry. Paul and I went and did it together.
Did you?
We
Okay.
did. It was fun. It was
Yeah.
so much fun. What's interesting about that is someone who's really, really, really into jet warbirds, I would really suggest anybody get to check out the MiG-15. It's so different than any other airplane I've flown that it's a great just learning experience.
Right.
It's really a great learning experience. It really is. It's the sweep is, the wing is not near as good, so the bad behaviors of the 15 is much more pronounced than
Okay.
the 17.
Yeah.
Larry's a great instructor, runs a great operation. So I always encourage my friends that sometime you want to do something fun, go out there for a
Right.
week and get your MiG-17, 15 type rate, experimental letter, because why not? It's you're gonna learn something.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you get the chance to really fully explore the envelope of the MiG-15?
Yes.
So
Yes.
compare the MiG-17 and the 15. Are they leaps ahead? As
Oh,
far as
leaps
17? Yeah.
ahead. Really leaps ahead. It's basically the same engine.
Right.
Really the same engine with the afterburner on it.
Right.
But the brakes are bigger, much bigger brakes. So the braking, the landing distance is more shorter and more controllable, and the wing is completely different wing. The airplane is almost 2.5 feet longer. The tail's different, and the wing is
Considerably more sweep.
Yeah, it's a 47 and 42, 48, 42. My numbers staying that well, but it's a compounded swept wing. Where this is the MiG-15 is a 35-degree sweep and a different shaped wing, and the lengthening of the tail, the lengthening of the fuselage of the tail, and the different wing. The MiG-17 is a much more forgiving airplane. The MiG-15 is like, don't stall it, don't stall it, don't. No.
Any kind of warning that it's about to depart?
Yeah,
or
you're right.
No, really.
Yeah, it'll stall, but you gotta. Yeah, it's stall. Okay, go.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't know what altitude you want to be if it gets into a spin.
Yeah.
Maybe 15,000 feet. Like you don't want to spin it.
Yeah.
Like ever. You don't want to spin any of these airplanes.
Right.
But yeah, you come back, you're kind of sweating.
Yeah.
Especially when we're not used to it. But yeah, your store, he does a great job of really exploring the envelope to get you used to the airplane. How you, if you're on final and you're 5 knots fast, you just pull the nose up a degree or two. When the airplane doesn't climb, it just slows down. It's like it might, like okay, that's better.
Yeah. Yeah, because we've got a whole bunch of pictures of your MiG-17 too. At one point, I thought about combining the two in one article, but I think it makes more sense to just do 2 separate articles. So we'll probably eventually do one on the MiG-17 as well. As far as equipment you wear when you're flying the airplane, flight suit, boots, helmet. Do you wear a G suit all the time? Yeah,
all the time. All the time. Oxygen mask.
Right.
Oxygen. Gloves.
As far as being an afterburner, are you limited the amount of time it can stay in afterburner? Is there
F5? No. MiG, I think it's 2 minutes, but you're out of gas.
Yeah.
No. I'm sure there's some limitation, but the problem with the MiG-17 is there's not really any reliable books to really speak of out there.
So you go around and experience of everybody else that's operating.
Well, you take the MiG. There are some books, but not the wealth of information. I've got every tick order. I've got all the maintenance. The F5, I have every maintenance manual. I have every tick order. Everything for the F5. That's another thing that's really nice. Basically,
and it's all in English.
Basically, you could go out and if we needed to change the tire today, James, you could go out there,
right?
Take the tire apart, change the brakes. Every tech order is all there.
Right.
Any competent A&P could do it.
Yeah.
And you also probably could do the MiG because in your experience, and it's pretty simple.
Right. Yeah, those things were made, as they say, for Russian farm boys to be able to maintain. I mentioned, you brought up about the drag chute. I was going to bring it up. So, what would you use the drag chute for? You said you feel
any
comfortable
emergency.
Any emergency.
Any emergency upon landing. My discipline is any landing emergency. I'm using the drag chute.
Okay.
Just check that box. I'm not going to think about it because it's free. It costs nothing.
Right.
Okay. So, I have suspected gear problem. I have suspected brake problem. I'm coming in single engine. Coming in no flap. Coming in, I have to land with a wet runway. Like I'm low on fuel. It's just rain here in Rockford, and the thunderstorm just passed, and I'm not gonna. It's gonna be more dangerous for me to divert than land on this runway. I'm using the chute. So any abnormal landing configuration at all, the chute's coming out.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And is the chute an on-condition item, or is it limited to how many uses it can be popped? Or
I don't know the answer to that, but on every condition inspection it's repacked.
Okay. You said you don't really keep much in the way of rotables or spares. You don't have any spare engines on hand, or if you need anything, it's there when you need it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Time between overhauls or hot sections on these engines. Any idea?
I don't know. I have 110 hours in my engine, so I probably will not own the airplane long enough to get there.
All right. Do you know, is there a shop that specifically takes care of these engines?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are a couple.
Okay.
Because they're GE engines.
Okay. So that's not an issue at all. Boy, we really covered all this.
That chute question?
Yeah.
Gets back to the discipline of, okay, here's the idiosyncrasy. I have a chute on this, the MiG doesn't have one. That's an option. Don't forget, Jeff, that's an option.
Yeah.
The F5, Norwegian F5 instructor gave me some really good advice about the chute. He said, Jeff, you got to decide that you're going to use the chute before you touch down. He goes, here's why. He says, I've seen this happen. He says, and we make so much fun of my friends in Norway. He said, because if you wait to deploy the chute, it's too late. It's only really, really, really good is when you're going really fast. He says, so when you first touch down and you get the nose gear down and you deploy the chute, he says, you really feel it slow down. He says, and he said, let's just say that you balk the landing and then you realize you might run off the end of the runway, and you're going 80 knots, and you pull the chute, because the chute will go poof, and not help you at all.